interview, which is a bit nerve-wracking for both myself and my guest author, which is Beth Hale. Hello, Beth. We had to have a little chat beforehand because it's the first time we've used this app. Neither of us knew what we were doing, especially me. I had to go and get my daughter to come and rescue us because I couldn't even go live. Hence the slight delay. But we've done it. Yay! Woo-hoo! Okay. Now, I got to be honest with you, Beth. I was and ahhing as to whether to pre-write questions for our interview or just go with the flow. And because I'm a very in the spur of the moment person and I like to go with the flow, I decided that we would just have a friendly chat without the, all the upfront questions and everything else, and just be us, because I think people generally connect with us better if we're just being ourselves. Would you agree?
I do agree.
Fantastic. I knew you would. Now, the one thing I will say, as I said, because neither of us have done this before, it's not like Facebook Live. I don't know about you, but I can't see whether people are in there watching, or it doesn't work the same way. So what I would like to do is, when I do share the interview later on, I would like to be able to tag you, and then people can maybe ask you questions about your books or for more information and so on and so on, if that works for you.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, this is the first time we've actually sort of met, even though it's virtually. But I have to say, Beth, I did research you a little bit. I've got to be honest with you. And you've got 10 books. 10 books. That is absolutely fantastic.
10? Well, yes, including the anthologies I have.
It's amazing.
Yes.
You are an absolute inspiration. Now, how did you actually get into, have you always written books, or how did it all begin?
I was always a reader, huge reader, from the time I can remember. And of course, as I got older, I would read my mother's, the Harlequin romance books she had laying around. And then what she called her smut books, her Beatrice Smalls and Virginia Henley's, those kinds of books. And I just fell in love with it. And then one day, I was maybe 15. It was summer. I grew up on a farm. There wasn't much to do. In the evenings when all the chores were done, and I was bored. I'd read all the books. I didn't have any more that I had not read. And I thought, well, I'll write a book that maybe I would want to read. That book never saw the light of day.
How old was you at that point?
Probably 15. It was so bad. But from there, I fell in love with writing from then, and I've written ever since.
Oh, that's fantastic. So whereabouts do you actually live?
I live in a little town in Mississippi. We have a Walmart and a few fast food places, and that's about it.
Oh, amazing. And have you always lived there?
I've always lived in this area. We moved from the farm my senior year of high school when the house burned. And we lived in what I call my hometown of Corinth. And then when I met and married my husband, we moved to Pontotoc, is actually where I live now. Oh, to be closer to his son. So
now, are your books influenced by your life or where you live?
Most definitely. Most of them, the Magnolia series especially, they all take place in a small town in Mississippi. And my characters, no matter where they are in the book, for instance, my first book, Trusting Jack, the book mostly takes place in London, but Emma is from Mississippi. She's from a little town in Mississippi.
Fantastic. Now, I don't know about you. I'm going to throw in a little personal note here. As everyone can tell, I'm English. I don't get out much. Obviously, I work from home, so hence why my accent's still strong after 8 years. But I personally write how I talk. And I think most authors do. They write how they talk to a certain extent, So some of my readers have said things like, you use words that just aren't familiar to me because you're British. How did you find that when you were setting the scene in London?
I did a lot of research on London, spoke to a lot of my online friends that live in the area.
Right.
And I've always had a fascination with English and English history. So I know a lot of that.
Right.
And they're, for instance, they say crisps instead of potato chips.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, I knew to write that when they were speaking, and I tried to, with Emma, she's from a small town, but, she's not a stupid Southerner, so she knows how to speak. Every so often she would slip back into her Southern dialect because we all do it from time to time.
Yeah. I have to say, I absolutely love the Southern accent. I spent 5 years in South Carolina and we loved every minute of it. I'll tell you, we would move back in a heartbeat. It was so fantastic. So obviously being in the South and everything plays a very strong part in your books. What about your characters? Are they loosely based on people that you've encountered, or are they completely fictional? How do you develop your characters?
Most of them are loosely based on people I know. There's actually a couple of characters in a couple of my books that are people I know. Their real names, their descriptions, because they asked to be put in the book. So, I've done that for them because they've asked.
Yeah.
For example, in my book, Magnolia Secrets, the Lainey, she is loosely based on my mother.
Right.
For everything she had to deal with within her marriage. I don't want to say too much and give the book away.
Yes, no, quite rightly too. Read her books.
That's been my favorite one so far, is Magnolia Secrets.
That's fantastic. So out of all your books, and I mean, your reviews have been fantastic because I looked. Which book is your favorite out of the ones you've done, or which story is your favorite, should I say? Because obviously you've done anthologies as well. So including all your work, is there one particular one that is really sort of close to your heart?
I would have to say the Magnolia Secrets, because I know from experience what Lainey has gone through. I've seen it. I've been through it. And I know what it's like to come out the other side.
I mean, that's fantastic because obviously, you're writing about something that is predominantly a real life situation, which means that obviously there's going to be lots of women out there who can connect with your characters because they've been either in, similar circumstances, or, they've had a relative or a friend who's been through the same thing. So I think that's wonderful, having that connection. Do you get feedback from readers saying, I've been there, I know how she felt? You do?
How did you write this? Exactly how I went through it.
Yeah.
Because every woman has gone through it or knows someone that has gone through it.
Yeah, I suppose there's varying degrees of obviously each situation as well. But so I think it's absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I'm so inspired by you. So are you, obviously, I mean, I've looked into you and Googled you and stuff, but for our, people who are watching, so did you self-publish or did you go through a publisher?
I self-published at the beginning, and then I tried a small publisher. It was not a good experience for me because that publisher, they just did not know what they were doing.
I've heard so many horror stories.
So I got the rights back to that book, and I've continued to self-publish. I have a book coming out later. Well, it's actually going to be February of next year through another small press who's had nothing but rave reviews. So
fantastic.
I'm hopeful.
It is a journey, isn't it? I mean, it's an absolute minefield, really. And as you found out, and I've found out, it is an absolute minefield for people like us who want to put our books out there. When you don't get taken up by a publishing house or a literary agent, it's tough, but then it's not the end, is it?
It's not the end. And I found, just with my experience with that other publisher, I like having the control. I like saying, this is what my cover is going to be. Yeah. I don't want to change this part of my story.
No.
I like having that control.
Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? When you write a book, you're pouring your heart and soul into that book, and everything down to the type of letters you use for the font, down to the cover, the terminology of everything. It is very personal to the author. Yeah. And like you, I've had so many horror stories of people publishing through small press companies, small publishing companies, and calling them publishing companies sometimes is just a stretch. People do get genuinely ripped off, and then they're stuck in a contract that they can't get out of. As you said, they have no control. So I'm thrilled to bits that you did manage to escape that, because I think there's nothing worse, is there?
There's not. And it got to the point where I had to get an intellectual property lawyer involved, because he stopped responding to my messages. He would not reply to my emails or anything. And thankfully I was able to use the IP attorney, and we got everything worked out. So I think a huge message for our viewers there is research. Tons and tons of research. And the nice thing about being self-published nowadays is it's so easy to do. The platforms are there for you to do it at very little cost, compared to what it used to be. I mean, years ago, it would cost you absolutely thousands and thousands, especially having to buy your own books in bulk. Yes.
Luckily, we're now, at the stage where things have moved on so much, we can do the print on order and everything else, which I'm sure makes a massive difference for you.
It does.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's next at the moment? I hear a whisper that you've got something on pre-order.
Yes, I am part of a box set, 20 authors, 20 different fairy tale retellings.
Oh my gosh, there's 20 of you all pulling together for this one.
Yes, and all proceeds go to benefit Puzzle Piece United, a charity for autistic children.
Oh, now see, that is very close to my heart, because my sister has 2 autistic boys, and for families with autistic children, it is a massive struggle every day. So I'm very supportive of anything like that. So maybe we can put the link to your charity and the link to the pre-order of the box set, put the links and details underneath the video so we can share it for everybody.
Absolutely.
I would love to do that for you. Now, I'm just amazed that you've done so well and come on so far. It's absolutely fantastic. Do you get much interaction with fans and everything?
I do, when I push myself to be out there for them. Yeah. I'm very introverted. I'm very shy.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, because you're a natural at this. I'm so impressed.
That's very kind of you to say. But when I do get out there and I post, or ask my newsletter subscribers for feedback, I get it overwhelmingly, and I love it. I love hearing from people that have read my books and want to give ideas or name suggestions for characters.
Yes.
I fully love it.
Yeah, it is fantastic. I think because every time somebody comments or reaches out, it means they've connected.
Yes.
Doesn't it? It really, really does. And it does go a long way. Now, I was saying earlier, about your reviews. Your reviews are fantastic, and people obviously do, men and women. It's not just women, men and women. They obviously do connect fantastically with your books, which is absolutely wonderful. It's what we all hope people will do. I don't think people fully appreciate how important reviews are. And I've got to say, I didn't until I actually start publishing books myself. I didn't appreciate how important they are, and how much they help authors. So I just want to say, while we're talking, if you have read any of Beth's books, please leave her a review, because it helps her massively. Every review bumps us up as authors, so we become more visible. And I think it's important, isn't it, to share your feedback and everything else.
Yes. I didn't realize how important they were. And now every book I read, I do try to leave a review. If I can't leave, because, there's always one of those books that's just not written well. They didn't get an editor, whatever the issue may be, that I don't want to leave a 1 or 2 star review without trying to reach out to the author first and saying, hey, I've noticed this. You might want to look at that. Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I mean, I've received messages from because I've done it on a very tight budget. I don't know about you. And it is tough. And after a while, you when you're editing your own work, you go blind to your own errors.
Yes.
And even when you've had an editor look at it, sometimes you both miss the same mistake because it just sneaks in there. So I don't know about you, but I do appreciate it when I get messages like that to say, just thought I'd let you know.
Yes, because nobody. I have my beta readers. I have a developmental editor, a line editor, a proofreader. Nobody catches 100% of everything.
No, they don't.
So, I love to have those people that say, hey, I noticed this on page 63, line 24. You've got thee instead of there.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll go fix that.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is appreciated. I'm sure you're the same. I've had the odd 1 or 2 not so nice comments. And I think to myself, well, why did you read it in the first place if it's not your genre?
Exactly. If you don't like small town romance books, don't read one.
I know.
I'm glad you took the time. Don't get me wrong, but I don't really like dystopian books.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read them.
Yeah.
Hunger Games was not my thing.
Yeah.
My daughter loves it. That's great for her.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when talking about you personally, so I mean, your books are absolutely fantastic, but who do you like to read? Who are your favorite authors when you're just relaxing?
Nora Roberts.
Oh, she's fantastic.
I love her.
Yes.
She is a wonderful writer. Her and her in-depth books as J.D. Robb. Huge fan.
Yeah.
I like reading indie authors as well. Catherine Stein, she writes steampunk romance.
Oh.
I'd never read steampunk before her.
I've got to be honest.
I'll read anything she puts out. She's fabulous.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, some authors you will just buy without even looking at the blurb.
She's great. And I had always thought steampunk is not really going to be my thing. But she writes it, and I just want more of her book.
Yeah, yeah. So, do you find that as an author, books that you read affect you as a writer? Inspire you, or maybe give you ideas?
Yes, and the flip side of that, actually, Nora Roberts has a newer release, Undercurrent. I'm not sure if you've read it. Fabulous book.
Really?
It's fantastic. But she writes well. Even the violent scenes in the book, she wrote very well, but they got to me.
Really?
And I was like, oh, So I'm going to have to put all my writing aside for a day or two and just try to get over, because I didn't want that to influence my writing in the wrong way.
Yes. Yeah, I do understand what you mean, actually, because I'm a big fan of Stephen King, and some of his novels are quite. Ooh.
Yes. Yes, his older work especially.
So what's your plan for 2020 then? I mean, I can't believe that we're already in March. I mean, that's absolutely unreal. I've just got over Christmas and we're in March. So what are your plans? Obviously, you've got the pre-order of the book, the box set coming out. What else is in the pipeline for you?
I'm working on the third book in the Magnolia series. This third one will be called Magnolia Bridges.
Oh.
And I will have I also write under a pen name.
Yes.
Again, what my mother calls the smut books. I'll have another one of those coming out in a couple of weeks.
For everybody else, that's erotica.
Yes.
Fantastic. So you've got that coming out as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there'll be two at least this year.
3. I finished. I was a little late finishing it up to put it out for the holiday season of 2019, but I do have a Christmas story that will be out at the end of the year.
Oh, fantastic! So your Christmas story, is that going to be what age group is that going to be aimed for? Everybody or
everybody? It's 18 and above. It's not going to be an erotica book, but it is going to have some scenes in there.
Right. Okay. How exciting! Are we allowed to know what it's called?
Of course. Office Mistakes.
Ooh, yeah, I've heard about Christmas time and office parties.
Yes.
How exciting! Oh, I'm so thrilled for you. So you've got 3 new books coming out for this year, plus a pre-order for the box set as well.
Yeah.
That must be amazing. Your family must be so proud of you.
They are. I could not ask for a more supportive family, from my grandmother to my husband to my children. My sisters, they've all just surrounded me, and you can do it. Don't give up.
It makes a massive difference, doesn't it? I'm sorry if I keep touching my nose and my eyes. I've got allergies. And even though I'm taking allergy meds, I can still feel my eyes sort of running.
I understand.
But yeah, I mean, support for an author is absolutely massive. No matter whether you're literally just thinking about it, or whether you're starting out to publish, or whether you've got a few books out already, support is what every author needs. And I can't stress that enough. And I'm sure you'll feel exactly the same way. Every post that's shared, liked, commented on, it makes a massive difference, doesn't it, for authors in general?
It does. Just knowing you have your tribe behind you.
Yes, and having that word of mouth recommendation is huge. It really is, because I mean, let's face it, I mean, you can have the best cover in the world, but if nobody's enjoying your book or talking about it, it's no good. Exactly. And a personal recommendation is better than any advert, promotional video. I mean, you just can't beat it, can you?
No, you cannot.
You can't beat it. Now, when I shared about us doing this interview, I obviously shared your Facebook page, I think, your Amazon author page, and your Goodreads page as well. What other social media do you like to try and be active on, just so obviously our viewers can start stalking you and your books?
I'm all over the place. I have Instagram, Twitter. I have my Beth Hale website. I'm getting a website built for my pen name, which is Ivy Black.
Fantastic. And
I can list BookBub. I'm on BookBub. Follow me on BookBub.
Yes, we like BookBub. It's new, but it's good.
Yes.
Yes, BookBub is a good one. Obviously, I just want to mention, because not everybody knows this, but you can actually read free chapters of Beth's books on Amazon. If they're ebooks, as you know, any ebooks actually, including Beth's, you can actually read the first 2 or 3 chapters free on Amazon and do like a try before you buy sort of thing, which I think is fantastic. You know, it's just as good as going in bookstores and having a little thumb through without people
Yes.
what you're doing.
You have to buy that before you read it.
Yeah, you break it, you buy it. So are you going to be doing any events or anything coming up?
Probably not this year. I had planned for April, but that kind of fell through, especially now with all the sickness going around.
Affecting everybody, unfortunately.
Yes.
Well, I mean, maybe we can, get together with you in sort of like 2 or 3 months or something, and perhaps have another interview with you, and see what you've been up to and see how things are going and everything. Are all your social media links on your website page?
They should be.
Okay. Just so I can check. I mean, I Googled you and all your stuff came up. It was good. I was like, woo! You can see that you're popular because you've been Google verified. I like that.
All right. That made my mind.
Obviously, not to put you on the spot, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers with regards to any news or anything else that you'd like to mention before we wind up?
I would like to mention, and I'll give you the link for you to post if they want to sign up for my newsletter via Book Funnel. I have a free book through there. Red Hot Reunion is free.
Oh, fantastic. So tell me a bit about this free book then. Is it a bit naughty one, or?
It's kind of in the middle, maybe. It's not quite Ivy Black material, but most people wouldn't let their 12-year-old daughter read it. Okay. But it's a friends to lovers, fake relationship kind of book.
So. Oh, well, I'm intrigued. I'm just going to make a note of this while we're here. Give me the title again.
Red Hot Reunion.
Red Hot. Ooh, I like the sound of that already. Reunion.
And I have an amazing cover artist who did a fantastic cover for it. I absolutely love the cover.
Oh, so when are you going to be doing the cover reveal?
That one's already out. I'll do the cover reveal for Magnolia Bridges probably in another month.
Oh, fantastic.
And then the Ivy Black one probably in just a couple of weeks, because that one's just about ready to go to the proofreader. So. Oh
my gosh, exciting times. So anybody can go onto Booksprout and
Book Funnel.
Okay, Book Funnel, Book Funnel, and read the Red Hot Reunion book for free. Mm-hmm. And if you do, everyone, please leave a review. Please, because they make a massive, massive difference.
They really do.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, your website is brilliant. Everything I've looked at, to be honest with you, has been fantastic. It really, really has. I would say definitely everybody connect with Beth and check out all her books. They are absolutely brilliant, as you'll see from all the reviews. And you can read her reviews on Amazon, or you can go to Goodreads, because you've got an active author profile on Bookreads as well. It's absolutely brilliant. So I definitely would love to do another interview in 2 or 3 months or whatever, and see what you've been up to. And obviously then you'll have those new releases out and stuff like that. Obviously Beth is going to give us the links as well for her charity fund, so you can pre-order the box set. Again, Beth said it's 20 authors.
Yes.
Now, just quickly, the stories, are they all similar, or are they all different genres? What?
They're all going to be fairy tale retellings. Right. Like I'm putting my spin on Beauty and the Beast.
Fantastic.
So they'll all be along that line, but I'm not sure if they'll be contemporary or Regency, steampunk. I know mine's going to have time travel in it. So
fantastic. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. I mean, if they're all going to be slightly different, you know, tinged with different genres, then that means everybody's going to experience at least one thing new.
Yes.
I'm excited about that. That's absolutely fantastic. Beth, thank you so much for doing this interview with me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I can't believe we've been chatting for half an hour and it's just gone like that, because you're wonderful, wonderful to talk to. Thank you so much. I will be sharing, hopefully I'll be able to share this with everybody, and getting your name out there, because you're absolutely fabulous. And I really, really hope that, you know, you gain some new fans, some new readers, and hopefully masses of reviews for your wonderful work. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you for talking with me.
And hopefully we'll speak to each other again soon.
Yes.
All right, my darling. Thank you for watching, everybody, and joining Beth and I for this author interview. On behalf of Wonder and Readers Rock. If you haven't followed Readers Rock, why not? Good question.
Great group.
Come and join us on Readers Rock. And you can also join us on Readers Rock !Readers. Fantastic pages for you to connect with new authors, get book recommendations, watch interviews like this with the fantastic Beth Hale. Ta-da! And have some fun. Now, I'm going to make a suggestion to Wanda as well, because it would be quite nice if we do interviews with authors and readers as well. So maybe that could be an option, and hopefully we'll be doing more of this in the near future. So thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
I will speak to you soon, my darling.
Bye-bye.
And I hope everybody has enjoyed it. Bye, darling.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Hopefully you've enjoyed this interview, and hopefully we'll be able to do lots more. So thank you very much for joining us, Beth Worsdell and Beth Hale. And all our books are on Amazon, and you can read, review, have fun, reach out to both I and Beth Hale, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much for joining.